Now that we have brews entered into the dashboard, let's take a look at the many different ways you can add notes and more information about each brew. General notes that are specific to the brewing and packaging team can be added directly on the dashboard next to each date. This can include time off, vacation requests, and specific notes about each section. These notes can be left visible or hidden as necessary. Specific notes for each section or each brew can be added by either double-clicking or right-clicking and selecting Edit Order. Here we see general comments that were added about each brew, and selecting one of the sections will allow you to add more information and icons. Here we see the default icons that we have added in the beer style menu, and if we need to add more icons, we can do so at this time. For example, if for this batch we did a new yeast pitch, we can enter that icon and a new label. Clicking Save, we now see this icon represented on the dashboard. Information about the specific processes can be added by, again, either double-clicking or right-clicking on an order. Under each section, you will see the plus icon. When clicked on, you will see all of the processes that were entered in the process menu. When you're adding information for a specific process, you can add the start time and the end time once you're finished. BrewPlanner will calculate the total time for each process. Any general notes can be typed on the right side and will be visible once this menu is opened. Processes can be added for each brewhouse turn and each date that the beer is in the fermenting and packaging section. Remember that any changes that need to be made to these processes can be made by once again returning to the main menu and clicking on Processes. If there is a delay in the brewing process, brewhouse turns can be clicked and dragged accordingly to represent exactly what you're brewing and when. There are many different situations that we can represent on the dashboard. Here we have created a special task under the packaging section. The special task is a beer style that we created, and we have assigned it with the icon of repair under the general packaging section that has a volume of 0. This packaging column is used for general packaging notes or activity that is happening in the packaging section. Here we see that it's been blocked out for repair because we are doing canning line maintenance on the 7th. We've used this special task beer style again on the 15th to represent that we are doing a mixed pack day, and we have a crew of 6 to create those mixed packs. Additional columns can be created, such as shipping and receiving, or any other activities that you want to represent without having a volume and having brews scheduled inside that column. Other scenarios that can be represented include if you need to combine 2 fermenters into one bright tank. Here we have 2 30-barrel fermenters. If we open up, we see that this 30-barrel fermenter is in batch number 19, which has been linked with the other 30-barrel fermenter. So we see the total batch volume of 60 and the packaging volume of 60. We can represent here if you need to just represent a beer in the brewing and fermenting section. For example, we have brewed this brown and we are racking it into whiskey barrels. Therefore, it is not being represented yet in the packaging section. If you need to split one fermenter into 2 separate bright tanks, this can be done by creating one batch in both the fermenting and brewing section and linking it with 2 separate batches that were created and put into 2 different bright tanks. If you need to just represent a batch in the packaging section, such as this brown that is being racked out of wood barrels on the 13th and is being packaged on the 14th. If you need to transfer beer from one fermenter into another, this can be represented by creating 2 batches just in the fermenting section, adding notes such as that this is coming from fermenter number 1. You have the option of putting packaging icons right here under fermenter number 3, but we encourage you to use the general packaging column to represent what is happening in the packaging section that day. This way it is much more clear which activities are specific to the packaging section and which activities are specific to the fermenting and cellar section. Even if you don't use bright tanks or you don't carbonate or filter your beer, you can still use the packaging section to represent when the beer is being packaged and what is happening in the packaging section. Icons are designed to represent activities that are happening throughout the day. We encourage you to use the ones that work best for your brewery and use your creativity to represent the different unique scenarios that are happening in your brewery. If you need our assistance at any time, don't hesitate to contact us at support@brewplanner.com. Thank you and happy planning.